breaking news again that we've been following all hour. The Naval Academy on lockdown. You can see helicopter support now with a number of law enforcement agencies that are hands on deck right now as they investigate. These are live pictures from Sky Fox. Again, there are reports of threats that were made to the school. This came in around 5:30 tonight.
And we're just learning from Fox News that apparently the person involved was somebody who was dismissed from the school. This is confirmed by reporting from Fox News, and has returned to campus with a weapon. That person apparently has been going door to door around the area of Bancroft Hall on campus, knocking on doors, pretending to be police officials, pretending to be military officials. So at this hour, things are on lockdown in that residence hall, and that residence hall, their Bancroft Hall, is where gunshots have been heard, is where the midshipmen are housed.
Yeah, somebody, potentially a disgruntled person who was kicked out of the academy, came back, sadly on a day that has already been so volatile for the entire country, as a lot of institutions, a lot of universities have been getting threats. This was another one. And Jim, this started off as a precaution. There was reports of possible shots fired, possible active shooter situation. And as an abundance of caution, the Naval Academy has now partnered up with a number of law enforcement agencies.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we've seen this playing out at many places today, many college campuses, but this one specifically, which is not too far away from here in Washington, D.C. Again, this happening at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, where the school just got underway just within the last couple weeks, as many colleges have done this time of year. But add that added wrinkle of this being the anniversary of 9/11, where there are always commemorations on military installations, and you can see a Maryland State Trooper helicopter now there on campus. Again, the epicenter of all this is Bancroft Hall, and you see at this point, from this vantage point at the very least, and I want to point out we are being very careful not to compromise anything. This is not a sensitive area, and the moment we're told that we shouldn't carry the shot, we of course will remove that shot from your screen. But at this point, they have locked down that part of campus. I
mean, listen, a very tense and frightening situation when you hear that someone was potentially, allegedly knocking on doors, pretending to be a military policeman. You really fear for this entire community that's on campus. At one point, we saw some live pictures of troopers kind of going around the perimeter of the school, armed with their guns drawn. We've been seeing a lot of just messages on social media saying, you know, pray for the service members, for the midshipmen here on this campus, and that, you know, their son or daughter is okay. Again, we have a reporter on scene, Jim, and I'm hoping we can get some more information on the ground as to what exactly they're seeing.
Yeah, we certainly have crews on the way out there to Annapolis right now. Based on some of the information we have, Lucas Tomlinson, the Pentagon reporter from Fox News, is breaking a lot of these details at this hour. We had reached out to the Annapolis Police Department for some information, who told us, quote, right now it is just a threat. I do not believe they have found a shooter on campus, but the campus is on lockdown. But at this point, because this is a military installation, because this is the Naval Academy, there are many different organizations, many different law enforcement organizations involved with this investigation. I'm glad we have this shot right here, because it really does give you a big perspective of the operation. You certainly see the Naval Academy itself, and nothing shut down there through the area, although it looks like on the bridge some of the cars are slowed down. I do see some police vehicles out there. There is that military helicopter, and if you look just a little bit to the left towards the bottom of your screen on the green there, it seems to be where that is one of the many command posts that they're setting up as they investigate this.
And you can probably see on the bridge, too, potential traffic impacts that this is causing. The Maryland State Trooper obviously kind of getting aerial pictures of what we're bringing for you. You can see the wide scope of this campus. Not a lot of people, though, we're seeing, probably because, again, the campus has been placed on lockdown as they investigate. There were reports of gunshots, but not exactly clear as to who they're looking for or if there are any injuries. But there are a number of law enforcement agencies on standby right now as they investigate.
Again, let's recap what's going on right now. This is the US Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. It is under lockdown at this hour. A midshipman who had been kicked out of the school came back to campus armed with a weapon. That's according to sources who have told that to Fox News, and reporter Lucas Tomlinson, who covers the Pentagon for Fox News. There were gunshots heard inside of Bancroft Hall, which houses the midshipmen, and one official on campus said, and this is a quote, "The shooter is knocking on doors pretending to be a military policeman." So you can imagine in a situation like this, they certainly have their own mechanisms on campus, as many college campuses do, to make sure everybody is safe, make sure everybody's alert as to what's going on, but just a tremendously frightening frightening time with all of this and this presence going on. But, you know, it's amazing as you look from Skyfox here. Is this a live image we're looking at right now, guys? I just want to make sure. Okay, it still is live.
Yeah.
So at this point, aside from that helicopter there, you know, life goes on beyond that, but clearly we're going to see a lot more law enforcement making their way there to the campus in Annapolis.
And just a note, how stretched law enforcement has been today, specifically after the tragic death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. We saw kind of a rollout of threats at the DNC, at multiple universities, and now this one. At first, you know, at first glance, you think maybe they're all somewhat related, but we don't know. Again, as Jim had mentioned, someone who potentially had been kicked out of the school, returning to the campus, armed, knocking on doors, pretending to be law enforcement. A frightening situation that is being investigated. We have not heard of injuries, but clearly a huge police presence around that campus that is currently on lockdown still.
Let me read the statement we have, because this has been going on for about an hour right now when the initial reports came down. But this is from the public affairs officer there, Lieutenant Naweed Lamar, who says naval support activity in Annapolis in coordination with local law enforcement currently responding to reports of threats made to the Naval Academy. The base is on lockdown out of an abundance of caution. But since that statement came down, that's when we heard reports of those gunshots being fired off in Bancroft Hall. Midshipman, obviously, what do you have right there? Okay.
Just that gunshots were heard inside Bancroft Hall. Yeah.
Okay. Shamari Stone, I know he's on his way out there at this hour.
Yeah.
And once we establish contact with them, we'll get them to you. But again, as you take a look at this, there are still many officers in this parking lot out there on the campus of the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. And if we're repeating some of this, please forgive us. This is information just coming into the newsroom. But the reality is, in times like this, it's not just important to share the information. I want to make sure we get it right for you.
Right.
Because times like this are so rife for the potential with misinformation. So everything we've told you, we're seeing is somebody, somebody is being carted away on a gurney from the scene there.
Listen, we're seeing, as Jim was mentioning, we want to get this accurate. We are seeing some reporting of injuries, but we don't want to bring that to you until it is confirmed.
Right.
But at least what we are seeing on live pictures right now is at least one person coming out of that ambulance, potentially going onto this helicopter to get medevaced. It's a very fluid situation, developing as we go. We are hearing some reports, but we are very cautious as to what we're bringing to you. But you are seeing this live with your own two eyes as you're watching these live pictures play out, at least one person being put in that helicopter. All right, and that just unfolded. I don't know, Sharon, from that vantage point, where Bancroft Hall is in relation to where the ambulance was. Yeah. You can guess by the manner in which they're handling this, you know, obviously with intent, but not with urgency, and that is a good thing, I would imagine, in this situation like this. It looks as though the person who was there, taken from the ambulance to the helicopter, seemed to be, at least from that vantage point, alert. They didn't require any sort of respirator or anything like that. It's a good point to note that, as you can see, obviously a very tense situation, a lot of law enforcement, but you're not seeing a lot of chaos. You're not seeing people running around. We saw that about an hour ago with kind of troops around the perimeter of the building as they kind of canvassed the area amid the first initial investigation. But this is our first picture of at least one person injured going into this helicopter here out of that ambulance as we learn more about what potentially unfolded here. All right.